Welcome back to another WoW video. Varaben here. Today we're going to be talking about the brand new talents that are coming out in Dragonflight, and I think there's a lot of miscommunication about, or sort of misunderstanding about what these talent trees are and how they fit in and how it kind of works with the class as a whole. So I want to hopefully dispel some of the misunderstandings and stuff like that in this video. So stick around, let's take a look. All right, so the number one thing that people are misunderstanding is that the talent trees represent the progression for a brand new player coming into this class. So yes, the top of those trees are a bunch of stuff that seems like they're baseline, right? It seems like there's things that every spec should get. So when you look at the paladin trees or the mage trees or the rogue trees, a lot of that stuff is like, why aren't they just giving it to them baseline? But they are giving it to you baseline. It's just that there's a little bit of a tax at the top of the tree. So that's the first thing. Okay, so the next thing is that PvP talents are not in yet. They have not touched PvP talents at this point. And the evidence of that is that paladins are getting Blessing of Spell Warding in their baseline paladin tree. That's a prot PvP talent. So these things are being pulled in, and there's going to be a little bit of a give and take where we're going to see some talents that are coming into the baseline trees. I think that's a really cool idea because there's a lot of really cool things in those baseline trees that I really wish that we had all the time. And I'm going to use Paladin as an example in a lot of these, but there's things in the Paladin tree that I think would be really cool if we could use in PvE, but we can't. Things like Unbound Freedom, where Paladins get a little bit of a movement speed increase when they use Blessing of Freedom. That's a cool thing. Every Paladin should have access to that, number one, and you shouldn't need a PvP talent to use it. The other thing is that you can tell by looking at these talents that a lot of what's been put into the trees is just the legendaries and the conduits and the covenant powers and the current talents. So they've taken all those things, added in the passives and the abilities that classes already have, and then they just kind of mushed them together and kind of put the good stuff down at the bottom, and you can tell that they put things that seem stronger kind of spread across the trees so that you have to make decisions. Some of them are literal decision gates that you have to make. And then they just kind of threw the talents out there, right? So some of them aren't implemented yet and things like that. So there's going to be a lot of iterations and things like that are going to happen. And so I think we just kind of have to give it a little bit of time. We're seeing the first draft of these things. We're seeing some of the talent trees already getting drafts that are making a lot of improvements. How the hunter talents get some changes. The shaman tree seems like it's seen a lot of really interesting things. And I think the paladin tree is moving in the right direction. The mage tree needs a lot of work. Okay, so another thing that I think people are misunderstanding about the talent trees is that right now you can get access to multiple choices that are currently are choices that you have to pick one of. So what I mean is, on the Paladins talent tree, right now, level 35, you have to pick between Unbreakable Spirit, Cavalier, or Eye for an Eye. And in the new trees, you can pick all three of them. You can actually take all three of those talents. And the same is true for some of the other talents in the trees, where you can take Zeal, you can take Righteous Verdict, and you can take Execution Sentence. You can take all three of those in the new talent tree. So I think there's going to be some really interesting builds that pop up, and I think that there's obviously going to be some, that's not going to be the case for across the board. There's going to be some choices you have to make, but in some cases there aren't choices you have to make. You get to get all three of those talents, and I think that's going to be really cool. All right, so that's all for the video. I just wanted to point out that these are the first time we're seeing these alpha talents, and there's a lot of really good things to see about the talents. Blizzard is obviously accepting feedback on these things, so definitely go post your feedback if there's something that you don't understand or you think that doesn't make sense. But I think that these talent trees are absolutely moving in the right direction. They're giving you some really good build variety. Obviously, people are going to theory craft this thing to death. There's not going to be a whole lot of variety at the top end of the game, but most of us aren't playing at the top end. We're not playing world first. We're going to have a lot of variety. We're going to get to pick some weird talents. We're going to get to kind of choose some different cool things, and I think we just got to let this process go through the phases. We're still in alpha, guys. Remember, this isn't even beta. This isn't even open beta. This is alpha, so there's still a lot of things that have to happen. So it's probably copium, but I'm still really excited about it. I think we need to give it some time, and then we're going to continue to see these talents evolve. Remember, this is the main power system, one of the main kind of components of the whole expansion. So they got to get it right, and they're going to balance the stuff. They're going to iterate on it. If there's numbers in there that don't make sense, it's probably because they haven't even looked at the numbers yet. They could have already changed the numbers in an internal build. So that's all for the video. Please be sure to hodge that like button and subscribe for more. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.